What if the very thing that makes you feel like an outsider, different, slightly out of place, deeply misunderstood, yet somehow deeply aware of everything around you, wasn't a flaw? What if it was actually a sign that you carry the world's rarest personality type? In a world of nearly 8 billion people, there's one personality type so rare that it makes up only 1 to 2% of the population. Psychologists call it the INFJ. The rest of the world calls it many things: mysterious, intense, impossible to understand. But here's the reality. If you have this rarest personality type, you've likely spent your entire life feeling different without understanding why. You sense things others miss. You absorb emotions like a sponge, and you carry a weight that most people simply cannot comprehend. Today, we are breaking down 10 signs that you may have the rarest MBTI personality type, the INFJ. Watch until the end, because the last few signs are the ones most people never talk about. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand yourself better. You'll finally understand why the world has always felt slightly out of sync. Sign number 1. You're magnetically drawn to people who need help. There's a psychological concept called the wounded healer. It describes individuals who, because of their own depth of feeling, naturally gravitate toward those in pain. You see someone struggling and something in you activates. You want to understand. You want to help. You want to heal. This is one of the most beautiful yet dangerous INFJ traits. Beautiful because your capacity for compassion is extraordinary. Dangerous because you can lose yourself in others. Therapists call this codependency when it goes unchecked. You become so focused on fixing others that you neglect your own needs. You attract people who take, while you slowly empty yourself. Ancient wisdom offers a solution. The Stoics taught that we must first master ourselves before we can truly help others, not from selfishness, but from understanding that you cannot pour from an empty vessel. Sign number 2. You experience the world through a sixth sense. If you are someone who often just knows things without being able to explain how, you are not imagining it. INFJs are driven by a dominant function called introverted intuition. This is a subconscious pattern recognition ability that allows you to pick up on meaning, motive, and outcome long before the evidence becomes obvious to others. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that this kind of deep intuitive processing is linked to heightened activity in the brain's default mode network, the same network associated with self-reflection and future thinking. You might predict how a conversation will end before it starts. You might sense when something is wrong with someone who is smiling. This is not overthinking. This is one of the clearest signs of the rarest personality type, a mind built to read beneath the surface. Sign number 3. You are drawn to broken or struggling people. You may not have noticed this pattern in yourself, but look back. How often have you found yourself in a friendship, a relationship, or even a professional role where you were the one doing the emotional lifting? Psychologists refer to this as the wounded healer dynamic. INFJs instinctively move toward pain. They see the potential in damaged people and feel compelled to help draw it out. This is a genuine superpower, but it carries a serious risk. Without healthy boundaries, the INFJ becomes a vessel for other people's unprocessed trauma. Shadow work, a concept developed by Carl Jung, encourages INFJs to examine why they are drawn to rescuing others, and whether that drive comes from compassion or from an unconscious need for purpose and validation. Sign number 4. You absorb the emotions of everyone around you. This second rare personality trait can be very overwhelming at times because it makes you absorb other people's emotions as if they were your own. If I may ask you, have you ever walked into a room feeling perfectly fine, only to leave an hour later carrying the weight of everyone else's stress? This isn't imagination,
It's a psychological phenomenon called emotional contagion, and for those with the most uncommon personality traits, it's amplified tenfold. Your brain contains specialized neurons called mirror neurons. These cells fire not only when you do something, but when you witness someone else experiencing an emotion. For most people, this is a subtle process. For you, it's overwhelming. INFJs are among the most empathetic of all the uncommon personality traits found across the MBTI spectrum. You do not just understand how others feel, you feel it alongside them. The challenge is learning where you end and others begin. Without clear boundaries, this can lead to emotional burnout, anxiety, and chronic fatigue. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful remedy here. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. For the INFJ, learning to distinguish your emotions from those you have absorbed is not selfishness, it is survival. Sign number 5. You see through people almost immediately. This is one of the most striking of all the INFJ characteristics. Within minutes of meeting someone, you have already formed an accurate impression of who they truly are, not who they are performing to be. You notice micro-expressions. You catch inconsistencies between someone's words and their energy. You detect hidden pain behind a confident smile and ulterior motives behind generous gestures. Research on social cognition suggests that individuals with strong introverted intuition process nonverbal cues at a faster rate than average. This can be unsettling for others and at times isolating for you, because once you see something, you cannot unsee it. Sign number 6. You're a perfectionist who struggles with procrastination. This is one of the most misunderstood INFJ characteristics. From the outside, it looks like laziness or a lack of discipline, but the truth is far more complex. If you have ever delayed starting a project because you were afraid it would not be good enough, or abandoned one halfway after all, it did not meet your own impossible standard, this is deeply tied to the psychology of the rarest personality type. This often happens when you have a vision in your mind of exactly how things should be. Every project, every relationship, every creative endeavor exists in ideal form before you begin, and that vision is so vivid, so perfect, that the gap between imagination and reality feels unbearable. So the problem is that you wait, you plan, you research, you wait some more. All this doesn't happen because you don't care, but because you care too much. Cognitive behavioral therapy teaches us that perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's about fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that your work will reveal you as fundamentally flawed. But here's what the Stoics understood. Progress is better than perfection. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The antidote to perfectionism isn't lowering your standards, it's starting before you feel ready.
Sign number 7. You live in the future. INFJs possess great willpower and are constantly moving toward personal goals. While others are thinking about what is happening right now, you are already 10 steps ahead, playing out scenarios, reading trajectories, and seeing how today connects to a future most people have not considered yet. You're quick to leave jobs or relationships that have no future. You prefer looking forward rather than dwelling on negative past experiences. Your mind naturally gravitates toward what's possible, not what's present. You're constantly planning, envisioning, and preparing for what comes next. This is why you're quick to leave situations that have no future, jobs that don't align with your values, relationships that have run their course. This is why so many individuals with the INFJ MBTI type are drawn to writing, philosophy, psychology, and spiritual practice, fields where pattern recognition and symbolic thinking are prized. This future focus is one of the most powerful INFJ characteristics. It fuels your creativity, your ambition, and your ability to manifest dreams into reality. But it also means you can miss the present moment. Habit science opines that presence is a skill we can cultivate. Mindfulness practices literally rewire the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for mind-wandering and rumination. Learning to balance your natural future focus with moments of grounded presence is the key to sustainable fulfillment. Sign number 8. You feel like an outsider even in your own life. Most people with this personality type hardly even realize they do this. From childhood, you probably noticed things others didn't. Not just details, but patterns. You could walk into a room and instantly feel the emotional temperature and read the dynamics. You knew when someone was hiding something, even when they smiled and said everything was fine. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that individuals with this rarest MBTI personality type possess a dominant function called introverted intuition. In simple terms, your brain processes information differently. You don't just see what's on the surface, you see the connections beneath. This is why you need depth, with small talk always feeling physically exhausting, why crowded rooms drain you, why you've often felt like you're speaking a different language from everyone around you. And that is not a weakness. It is a sign that you are wired for something more meaningful. But here's what neuroscience reveals. Your brain isn't broken. It's wired for depth. And while this can feel isolating, it's also the source of your greatest power.
Sign number 9. You are deeply private, yet crave true intimacy. If you possess this personality type, you guard your inner world carefully. Most people in your life know only a version of you, a curated, edited version that you have deemed safe to share. And yet, beneath that privacy lives a profound hunger for someone who truly sees you. This is not a contradiction. It is self-protection born from experience. INFJs have often been burned by opening up too quickly or trusting the wrong people. According to attachment theory, this pattern, known as fearful avoidant behavior, is especially common among highly sensitive individuals who have experienced emotional disappointment early in life. Once you find someone worthy of your full trust, the bond you form is extraordinarily deep. Your capacity for intimacy, when it is safe, is one of the rarest and most beautiful of all uncommon personality traits. Sign number 10. You feel a deep, unshakable sense of mission. This is the sign that separates the INFJ from every other type. Beneath all the complexity, the sensitivity, the introversion, and the contradictions, there lives a quiet but unbreakable conviction that you are here for a reason. You do not just want a good life, you want a meaningful life. You want to leave things better than you found them. You feel pulled toward justice, toward truth, toward alleviating suffering in whatever form you are able. This sense of mission is not arrogance, it is the INFJ's core. Research in existential psychology confirms that individuals with a strong sense of personal purpose report greater resilience, better mental health outcomes, and deeper satisfaction in relationships. If you carry this feeling, this quiet, persistent knowing that your life is meant to matter, then you are not just rare in personality type, you are rare in spirit. Conclusion and reflection. If you've made it this far, you've likely recognized yourself in these descriptions. You felt the weight of being different, the exhaustion of absorbing others, the loneliness of seeing what others miss. If several of these signs resonated with you, you may carry one of the most uncommon personality traits in the world. The INFJ is rare, not just statistically, but in the depth, the sensitivity, and the vision they bring to everything they touch. Being rare is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. So here is a question for you. Which of these 10 signs felt most personal to you, and why? Let us know in the comments below. Your answer might help someone else feel a little less alone. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It truly helps this channel grow. And for more videos on psychology, personality, and self-improvement, hit the subscribe button.